Social skills are exactly what you guys need, and it's going to be the answer to most of your problems. I'm somebody right now who has built a lot, built a team, built a huge following, brand, and all that, right? Yet, I still make it a point to socialize, and I'm not somebody who is out bar crawling out all the time like I am, but I'm not. I just maximize the situations, and this is the key, because there's so many other people that go into these same environments as me and create zero connections and do nothing. I'm talking the gym, I'm talking regular events. If you do a social club, a chess club, you do arts and crafts once a week, you go to a dance class, you go to a martial arts studio, you're a parent taking your kids to sporting events. All of that stuff is social, any environment where there's a lot of people. Now, I'm not referring to becoming an absolute superstar where you have people eating out of the palm of your hand. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm specifically referring to today is just above average skill. Meaning, as a man, you can go out there. If you're in the environment with women, you can engage with them, right? You can engage with other men, you can make connections, you can go to networking events and naturally meet people, you can hold conversation, and you're somewhat interesting. That's it. We don't have to be the rock star, we don't have to be the player, we don't have to be the center of attention, the master storyteller, none of that. But the reason that this is the key is when you go out, opportunities will present itself. You never know who you can meet at the grocery store. Again, you never know. Like I told you, I did a networking event before I closed my last office here in Miami. And at that networking event, the first one, there was 12 people. One of them happened to be the partner of the developer that I'm working with right now in South Florida, that opened up a huge door, future and opportunities for me. He gave me one project right now. There's a second project that he's giving me. It absolutely will transform my brand. And that last step that I had to take in real estate, right? As a salesperson, now I'm working hand in hand with the developer. Awesome. But it was a networking event where I had 10 people show up and I just doing my thing because I naturally just gravitated to my position of leading. It was a 2-hour event. I ended up speaking for an hour and a half without even really trying. I got to break bread with everybody. We all followed each other on Instagram, but that person was so impressed that they reached out to me after the fact. We chatted. He came to the second networking event that I did about a few weeks later, and then he presented me to the developer, which then led to the interview and everything else. The first event that I had here in South Florida for my coaching program that I hosted off Lincoln Road, right by Ocean Ave, near South Beach, right? I met the owner of that escape room on the street right after I had moved here when I was staying at the Airbnb. I just made small talk with her on the street. We ended up talking. She's like, oh, you know, I'm the lead manager here at the escape room. I was like, oh, escape room, that's one of those game rooms, right? Let me go check it out. It's, you know, 3rd floor in a building, has a huge, you know, rooftop area that can fit like 150 people, 200 people, indoor bar. I said, perfect, this would be great to host my first event. I got people coming out here in a couple months. Can we work something out? And we did. I paid a small fee, they hooked it up. And if you guys remember all those posts, you can go back on my Facebook, you can go, well, you can't really go on my old YouTube because it's gone now, but the people who were in my group know. Maybe somebody from my community can comment below. I got that venue, bomb venue, because I happened to meet that person on the street, just making small talk. I forget how I initiated the conversation with her. Same thing with meeting other gym owners. My trainer right now, Bas, that little guy that I do calisthenics with. What I did was a lot of the gym owners that I've met, I ended up talking to a lot of them, and he actually started a class at Omega, the one that I post every Saturday on my Instagram and Facebook if you follow me. How did I meet those gym owners? By being social. His current girlfriend, he met because I was talking to people when we were at the park. Every time we go to the park or the beach, I'm always starting conversations with people if they're in that area, and it's just natural. I'm not saying anything special. I'm not saying I'm the man and so cool. It's just natural for me to do it now because I've been doing it so much. So I've developed that social muscle and social skill where it's not a lot of effort. I'm not super nervous or scared. Anybody can do it. Because if you listen to the words that I'm saying, sure, to some people it could sound smooth and relaxed, but that's because that's interaction number 50,333. Between door to door, cold calling, talking to people at the park, on the street. I've done it so many times. I'm telling you, whether it's romantic interest, business interest, or whatever it is, and it translates to everything in life. Imagine how much easier it'll be for you to go after what you want, because the crux behind a lot of the issues that we have as human beings is the fear of social rejection and pressure. We won't make videos because of social rejection and pressure. You won't approach people because of social rejection and pressure. You won't do public speaking because of that. You won't be a leader because of that. You won't cold call and door knock because of that. It always boils down to that. If you get rid of that fear and hesitancy and that becomes natural, everything becomes easy. Becoming an entrepreneur, right? Romantic relationships, talking to people, having a good time, feeling cool when you go out, and just being able to socialize and not going home saying, dang, why am I so scared? I'm not talking. Because all it is we're changing your ability to not only just be comfortable at home, but comfortable in any environment. And that's a superpower nowadays. You can film videos in front of people, right? I've gone live. If for those of you who've been really been following me, if you remember years back, I went live at the airport and I struck up a conversation with the chick next to me and I put her on the live. And I'm just like, and I had people around me watching, listening. I don't care, but I'm comfortable. Imagine what that would do for you. Imagine how much that's going to help. How many of you suffer because you label yourselves or you accept that you can't change, that you're an introvert, you have social anxiety. Okay, you may have that now. You can get over it though. Do you want that to be a permanent part of your personality and your being? Or do you want to be like me and many other people who have changed it? You can change it. That's not in your DNA and your genes. Anybody can become great at socializing if they're willing to put in the work, but it's not going to be easy and you're going to have to go through some suffering to get there. Sure, everybody has trauma and baggage and mental blocks. So did I. Everybody does. Will you work past them though and get through it? Sorry, I just worked out, so it's hot. Sweating. Will you do that? If you're willing to do that, sky's the limit, not even. But you got to be willing to do it. And I'm telling you, the social skills will have you feeling so confident. It'll completely revolutionize your self-image. It'll rewire your self-talk. You'll start seeing opportunity. Your perspective on life will shift. You'll feel better. You'll look better. Right? Like how many of you right now, and be honest, leave a comment. Can you look yourself in the mirror right now and be proud of what you see? Are you looking forward to the future, or are you just down on yourself and you're hypercritical of yourself? Because again, if you view yourself in a negative light and all you can see is a negative in you, what does that say about when you look out to the world, what you think? If all you see and perceive is negative, 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 this will help you change that, because many of us have built up social stories and these justifications in our mind from very few and very little amount of data. So let's say somebody's scarred socially right now because they got rejected, a girl rejected them or something like that, right? Let's play this out. Is that coming from thousands or hundreds of interactions? Or is that only coming from 1 or 2 or 3 rejections? It's no different when I talk to a salesperson or somebody who's, getting into sales or entrepreneurship. Oh, nobody wants to buy my product. Everybody's mean when you call or when you approach them on the street. Everybody's an asshole. It's like, all right, how many people did you talk to? And they're like, 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. That's not a big enough sample size. Because if you went out and you talked to 1,000 strangers, 1,000 people at the door or on the phones, you approached 1,000 girls, you'll realize that, generally speaking, people aren't that mean and they're not that bad. We just create these stories in our head from one or a few minuscule bad interactions. So when I think back to going door to door, I've had the cops called on me too many times to remember. I've had people pull weapons on me, threaten me, curse at me. But when I look at the total scope of how many times I went door to door and how many people I talked to, right? When I look at the whole thing, that's a small percentage. So how could I falsely label it and say it's bad or it's no good when when I use my logical mind, sure, that stuff stung and it hurt, but it was only a small percentage. But if you're not out there and you're not actively pursuing this thing, you're coming to an incorrect conclusion based on minimal data. And this is why I really encourage you guys to, read the books, get the training, get the help, get out there, socialize, talk with the world, get in the real world, and start to do what you do. Because when you do, things will change, and they'll change quickly. You can get over this stuff in a couple weeks if you're willing to commit. I would always tell people as a challenge, go out and talk to 5 new people every day, 10 new people, 20 new people. And within a couple weeks, the transformations are just mind-blowing. They really are. But you got to be committed to it. And I'm telling you, these social skills are going to be more and more in demand as time goes on. That's why I know you could take everything away from me, but as a salesperson, entrepreneur, and somebody who's good socially, I know I'll always have a high income and a position. Even if I work for somebody else, I'll have a high paying position because of the skill set that I've developed and acquired. Now I'm always going to go into the business for myself because I understand the potency and how valuable the skill set is. And that's why people will always be underneath me, come work with me, come coach with me, because they recognize it. But see, you can have that skill too if you're willing to pay the price. All right, so get out there and make it happen. Build those social skills. See ya.